I appreciate them, but here's what I'm missing. If you don't tell your partner, they might not know because they're not the same person as you. So learning how to express your needs in a way that is healthy, and then your partner doing the same, and then being willing to act on what they share.
Hey, thanks for checking out another episode of Your Bold Marriage Podcast.
Welcome back.
We are back with another one of our popular episode themes, which is Ask a Therapist. The theme for this series, and we've done one before, by the way, so we will sprinkle these into our episode flow, but real answers to real marriage questions. And just to give a precursor to the listeners, these are questions that either Jamie has gotten directly in sessions that are common repeatable themes, or the brilliant minds of Reddit and ChatGPT. So without further ado, maybe just because we probably have some new listeners, give a little bit of your quick background of, what you do. And
yeah, I am a licensed mental health counselor, 10 plus years in the field. I work primarily, I would say, with individuals focusing on, I specialize in trauma. I do see couples from time to time, but I will not, it is not my specialty.
Yeah.
But I have a lot of experience in the field of mental health, and that's,
Even when you're talking to individuals, though, a lot of them come in with topics related to their marriage.
Here's what I've seen. A lot of the work you do individually helps your marriage if you're both putting in work.
Yeah.
So maybe your marriage isn't the issue, but you have your own struggles and you improve, your marriage improves. That's fair.
Okay, we're just going to jump right in. We'll get through as many questions as we can, but number one, we'll start with a conflict-related question, which is, do all couples or do healthy couples really argue this much?
You have to define what does this much mean.
Sure.
But if it's like all the time, no, I wouldn't say that's healthy.
Right.
I think if you're arguing all the time about everything, there's a big problem, and you should figure out what that is.
Yeah.
Now, if you argue from time to time and you have conflict from time to time, that's completely normal. That's a good thing. It can be actually healthy to have conflict. I think intense, angry arguments is not a good thing. So the way in which you do conflict says a lot about the state of your relationship.
Okay.
If you can't have an a conflict without it turning into a big argument, that's not a good sign.
Right.
There's something going on. You probably need some help if you can't figure it out on your own. And sometimes you can. If you start realizing, I don't think this is right, I don't think it should be going this way, then you might be able to figure that out together without any professional help. But if you can't, that's when you probably should start looking into getting some help.
Okay. Yeah.
If it's a regular occurrence. If you can't talk about anything without it turning into an argument, not good.
Yeah. Well, I think that's important. I'll just kind of jump in here and maybe tease up something else you can talk about. It's important because you said everything. There's some things that I drew out of your answer, which is if you can't talk about anything without it turning into an argument, if you can't talk about tough topics without it turning into an argument, if you can't have disagreement without it turning into an argument. I think one thing we've talked about in previous episodes is even small things typically are like a catalyst to create big conflict. One thing, though, that I would say, and I want your comments on this from your professional perspective, is we're big on the absence of conflict, and you kind of said this, is also not good.
No.
So maybe expand just a little bit as an encouragement for those that are saying we're having arguments every once in a while. Maybe talk about where that can be a healthy thing.
Yeah, so when there are no arguments, there's no conflict, there's no disagreement. Sometimes one of those partners might think, things are great. What they might not realize is that they are steamrolling their partner. Their partner might be an avoidant who doesn't want to bring up any issue, who wants to avoid conflict at all costs, who wants to just give in and lose they've lost who they are for the purpose of keeping this steamrolling partner happy, because they don't want to deal with the impact of speaking their mind or bringing up their concerns. So that's a bad sign. I'm not saying you can have a very healthy relationship where you have things you disagree on, you freely speak your opinions in your mind, but there's not a lot of arguing or conflict because you've learned each other and you've learned to accept it. Like, that's okay.
Yeah.
But if you haven't gotten to that point because you did deal with all those difficult things, it's probably the other thing I mentioned.
problem.
You could also have two partners who are highly avoidant, who avoid conflict, and they're both secretly dying inside.
Yeah.
And just going along with whatever to keep the peace.
Yeah.
So that's not a good thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's very unlikely that two people who are married just agree on literally everything.
Right.
And have no issues and never need to have a conflict.
Would you say in those situations, like the likelihood is eventually all those things will come to the surface and you're going to have some conflict, right?
Yeah.
If you just avoid everything.
Oh, yeah.
And then, so I think the takeaway for this one, like that, what you would say is like, it's up to the listener to assess, like, well, what are the arguments about? How much are they happening?
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I can't give you a definitive, but if it's all the time about everything, not good. If it's occasional and you can come to a good repair after, that's okay. If you see yourself improving in the way it's done, it's becoming less argumentative, more peaceful. Like, that's like, I think of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
We didn't have too much of that in the beginning, but the way our arguments or disagreements looked in the beginning of our marriage to the way they look now is completely different.
Great point.
Because we just worked on it. But you have to be willing to say, I don't like the way we're doing this. Can we work on this? And then both have to be willing to make changes.
Yeah. Well, and one thing I can't help but say is if you're hurting each other, like if after you have your conflict and it goes away, but one of you feels like deeply, deeply wounded, that's probably like a telltale sign that something's not healthy there.
Oh, I would say if you're having regular arguments that result in verbal abuse, that's a big red flag. Like, that's not okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That tells me there is a lack of self-control. That's definitely causing harm to the individual and the relationship. That has to stop. And I hear that a lot where it's like, oh, I get in these arguments and then I'm like cussing him out and I'm calling him names. And it's like, that should not be happening at all. Like, I hear that.
Yeah.
So we should be, and they might say, and then I apologize. Well, that's verbal abuse. You can't.
Yeah.
There's no other way to look at it.
Sure.
So that needs to be dealt with immediately. That's not healthy in any capacity.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's good.
Okay.
How about, so next question. We all go through phases in our marriage, right? So sometimes you feel super close and tightly knit, and then other times you maybe feel a little distant. Sometimes things are easy. Sometimes things are tough. You go through easy times in your marriage and hard times in your marriage. So question would be, are we growing apart or is this just a phase?
Okay. So I agree with you. It's natural at times to feel close and then to feel more distant. But I think whenever there is that distant feeling, especially, so if you never felt very close to begin with and you got married for the wrong reasons, that's a separate problem. I don't think you're talking about that.
Right.
But if it's like we were this close and now we're not, I don't think that you will just get close again automatically. I think that's the takeaway is, okay, we were like this and now we're not. Why not? We need to figure it out. Because like, oh, it's a phase. I don't really think I think, no, something happened. And it could be that something negative happened. It could also just be that you got too busy to invest.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily a negative event that caused this like distance. It's more, we're not doing the things we used to do that connected us. And so now we're feeling disconnected.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you just have to figure out, and we've had many of those phases where we're, I guess you can call it a phase, but there's a reason for it, where it's like, oh, we aren't as connected. But here's the thing I would say, and this is where what we've always done. Maybe that's to my credit because I'm more like on guard and aware. Hey, I feel like we're not as connected. What's going on? What happened? What's going on for you? Here's where I'm at. What do we need to do to get it back?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that works every single time.
Yeah, no, that's good. And I think one comment that I would make is the maybe swapping the term phase for season of life. And I think that's so like overused.
Yeah.
I just maybe even in church circles, like, oh, this is the season of life that we're in. Things are tough. Things are this and
I
that.
hate that. Can I say why?
Yeah, go ahead.
I hate that because I think there's this false idea that, oh, it's a season, it'll pass.
Mm-hmm.
And while that could happen naturally, I think that you have to choose and willfully act on that to get out of that season.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people they excuse a lack of connection and closeness because, oh, it's the season we're in. But then it just continues to go and they continue to get further and further apart.
Sure.
And then they're left with like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this is where we're at.
Yeah.
Because they just convinced themselves, oh, it's a season, it'll pass.
Totally
I think
agree.
marriage is about being intentional from day one to the very end.
Yeah.
And you will have times where that is more challenging because of a season that you're in. It requires more work and more effort. Like you have a newborn. Obviously, our alone time drastically changed when we had a newborn.
Yeah.
And we had a lot more responsibility and priorities. But you have to make that choice to say, okay, the baby's taking a nap. Let's have some time connecting. That is an active, intentional, conscious choice that you have to make.
Yeah.
You know?
I totally agree. And I think like maybe just some examples for the listeners out there. I mean, I know this is about your perspective, of course, but just to share here, some things that I think about even as a man. You already touched on having kids. As your kids get older, that's a different season of life. There's seasons in your career, male or female, by the way, but there's seasons in your career where it's like the grind's a little harder, the hours are maybe longer. And I think those are, to your exact point, those are excuses that are either popular like in society or that we've heard, over the years, or that we've gone through over the years, where it's kind of an excuse though. Yeah. Like, oh, he's not around much right now because he's investing in his career and it's tough, or he's trying to grow a business or sell the company or climb the ladder, or she's trying to build, you with going through graduate school. Like we have had seasons where that's happened for us, but you have to be conscious because otherwise that season turns into like the way things are. Yes,
that is what will happen.
Right. I mean, that's the point you're making.
Yeah. That's why in every season you have to find ways to connect and grow closer. And that's like one thing with maybe a couple I would see might be feeling that way. And it's like, well, what's changed? What was he doing that helped you feel connected and close that he's not doing anymore? Or what is she doing differently?
Yeah.
There is always an answer.
Yeah.
Every time.
Right.
So it's like, figure out what happened, what changed, and then fix it. And that's where I think being on guard, being intentional, always paying attention, never just accepting it as like, oh, it's the season. It's fine. No, it's not. It gets harder in certain seasons, but it still needs to be a priority with your marriage.
Yeah. So how about another, like, kind of keeping with this same theme, because this next question is sort of related. Someone comes to you and they say they're not sure if they're feeling loved. So they throw the question out there to you, like, how should I know if I'm loved or not? Like, how does someone feel loved?
I think that's like such a unique for each person thing, because I think we feel loved in so many different ways, and it's very dependent on our temperament, on our personality, on our, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think there are things that make you feel loved that I couldn't care less about. There's things that make me feel really loved that you couldn't care less about. So the number one thing in marriage, and just my perspective, is getting to know your partner and knowing the things that make your partner feel most loved, and then choosing to selflessly act on those things. Obviously, in a way that is realistic. If it's like, I feel loved if you buy me a $2,000 purse.
Wah, wah.
What the heck? Like, I'm sure that's a real thing. Like, I feel love when you buy me nice, expensive gifts. Well, that's not realistic to keep that up. So you got to figure out why that's how you feel loved.
It's also
because there could be problems with the way you feel loved. You might need to search yourself and say, why is that the only way I feel loved? What's going on for me?
Oh, that's good.
What is it about that makes me feel like you could have internal issues that go back to your own past, your own childhood, your own problems, where what you need to feel loved is not realistic. Where it's like, you have to respond. Here's an example coming to my mind. You have to respond to me within 10 minutes if I message you, or I'm not going to feel loved. Nope, not realistic, not healthy. So I think you have to heal personally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who don't ever feel loved, even though their partner's loving them very well.
Yeah.
And it's because they have not done their own healing work.
Mm,
So I feel like we have two separate things
that's
here.
good. Yeah.
One, do I not feel loved because I have not healed those wounds that make it hard to receive love?
Mm-hmm.
Or do I not feel loved because my partner's not loving me in the way that I need, which is realistic.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you have to really, it's a very involved question,
Sure. And hyper personal.
Yeah.
No, you're making a ton of sense. I mean, even eye-opening things for me, like really to think about. It's not a generic answer, which obviously, like
we all want that because it's easier, but it's not easy.
Yeah, yeah. But to unpack it, the self-awareness piece, yes, so good.
Well, thank you there, honey. I'm feeling very loved right now with your affirmations. So just outside of like the personal development healing piece, like just if you got two healthy people, I think it's learning what does my partner need? And then am I verbalizing what I need to feel loved to my partner? Or, and I think this is a big problem, why people don't feel loved. Oh, they should just know. They don't express.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, you're doing all these things, but I don't really feel loved in those ways. I appreciate them, but here's what I'm missing. If you don't tell your partner, they might not know because they're not the same person as you. So learning how to express your needs in a way that is healthy, and then your partner doing the same, and then being willing to act on what they share. Because that is a problem where it's like, well, I've told him 100 times. Well, then the problem is him.
Yeah.
If you say, well, I haven't told him because he should know, the problem is you.
Yeah. So, or probably even, I love that you're saying this. I think even asking your partner, what makes you feel loved? What do I do that makes you feel loved? I mean, you and I have talked about this, like, and sometimes I'll admit, like, there've been clunky conversations, which are probably my fault.
No.
Cause I'm not emotionally as in tune as you, but it's like, you might have asked me that in the past. I said, like, I don't know. You know, I don't
You're
know what makes me feel
man.
loved. But we've talked about that with you, and it's like, I do know what makes you feel loved. I do know what unfortunately makes you feel unloved. So I think it's like those of you listening, I mean, that's
a good question too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like that. Yeah. Like what makes,
I mean, I could literally think of several things that I need to work on all the time or be aware of all the time that I know make you not feel like I care about you and love you and like you.
Yeah. And going back to what I said before, there's been a lot of things that I had to do as far as personal healing.
Yeah.
Having not felt very loved throughout my life. That was unfair to you if I didn't heal because I needed a lot more to feel loved in the beginning. Whereas as I've chosen to heal and work on things and overcome in certain areas, I feel more secure. Because the more secure you feel, the more loved you feel. As long as your partner's loving you in the right way. But if they're loving you in the right way, but you're super insecure and you haven't healed, that might never be enough. And then you're left with other problems.
Yeah, and that's a good point too, even about us. Like if you had not done that very, very early on, I would add, but obviously like a work in progress, as we both are, as all of you listening are. Yeah. But if you had not done that, I mean, our relationship and the way we communicate and the way we love each other would be different than it is today.
Because it would wear you out.
So I think that's an important piece of it. Maybe just quickly, and I'll let you talk about this a little bit, but sort of keeping the same topic. So not going to throw another question at you, but we've talked about in almost every episode, different techniques, different resources, different tests, quizzes, assessments, call it whatever you want. Love languages comes to my mind because that is definitely like, it's popular, but it's definitely a pretty good indicator of how you can get to know each other deeper in terms of how people give and receive love.
Yeah.
Are there just general resources that you would?
I think like love language is good. There's way more, like if you think about, there's other things too. I would say to someone, go find a list of emotional needs.
Okay.
And read through them and print it, just look up on Google or on ChatGPT, what are emotional needs? And that could be like affection, respect, security, honesty. Like there's a whole long list.
Okay.
You can find.
Okay.
And then write them down or print it, highlight which ones mean most to me.
Okay.
Which ones, if I'm not getting this, hurts the most.
Okay.
I would argue honesty is number one. Like, just that's kind of a moot point. But like, some people don't really need that much affection.
Yeah.
It's nice, but they don't feel up. But man, do they need support. And if they're not getting that like emotional support, it crushes them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas like another person who's like, I need affection. I know you support me. I don't need you to show it that much. I just, that's not really that big of a deal. So it's like everybody's so different.
Yeah. Yeah.
So figuring out, what do I really need most? And then if it's like, I really need this, and no matter how much my partner gives it, still
Never
don't feel
enough.
loved, you need deep inner healing.
It's good.
You know, because it's like, I'm giving you as much affection as I can, but it doesn't seem to be working. You got to go get some help, because there's probably more there. Or even you can do a lot of personal healing. Like, you know, seek God on that. Talk to him about why do I never feel like it's enough? What is wrong? There could be a wound that's not been healed, and you need God's help.
Yeah. Well, just to say, like, kind of on your behalf, because I've heard you say it countless times, like just to me privately in our own conversations about what you do, but also like in several other episodes where we've talked about this type of thing, is your job as a therapist. Kind of two thoughts in my head. Your job as a therapist is to guide people towards finding the answers themselves, not to give them the answers. And I think you sort of said that at the beginning of the episode. And then the second thing would be like, when it's appropriate to seek help. I think you're obviously like big on that too. So maybe just to, as we close, like address, you know,
and I think
things.
My work, you know, and as a trauma professional, and I utilize very evidence-based trauma techniques, is like, they come in, here's how I'm feeling, here's what's going on, this is what I want to work on. Then I help them identify where's that coming from. And then we do really in-depth techniques to help heal the brain.
Yeah.
That's important.
Yeah.
So I would just say that, look for things like that. If you have deep wounds, that things like brain spotting, accelerated resolution therapy, EMDR, somatic experiencing, those types of things are pretty effective for like that kind of stuff. Versus like talk therapy can be good, but in my experience, I've seen those things be more effective for that. But anyways, if you can't work through something on your own, and you've tried, you've done all the self-help stuff, you've worked on it as much as you can, it's still there, still triggering for you, that's might be a good time to go look for someone who can help you go deeper, because this will affect your relationship. Unhealed wounds and really impact the relationship and how you feel loved. So if your partner's doing all the right things, you're like, I don't feel loved. Okay.
Indicator,
it's different if you're like, I'm very secure, but my partner's just not doing the things I need. That's a different issue. So you have two different problems. And in that case, you might also need some help if you've expressed, if you've told your partner how you feel, if you've asked for what you need and you're giving them what they need, you're asking them, what do you need? And you're just not getting it in return. Yeah, maybe you need to
talk to somebody.
Don't just settle and say, I guess this is what my life's going to be. Like, go look for some help.
Yeah. Okay.
You know?
All right. Well, great points and tips here. We'll keep coming back to this list. We've got a pretty exhaustive list of questions that are routinely asked in therapy sessions about marriage specifically, of course. So we'll pop this in maybe every 10 or 15 episodes. Keep a lookout. Be sure you subscribe for more great episodes just like this. We'd love to hear from you. So follow us on social media and have a great week. Thanks for being here.
Hopefully it helped.